Alright, so let's talk about mantras. Mantras in Deepwoken are pretty cool. Of course, we all kind of use them. But a lot of these mantras that could be useful and that we roll are pretty useless. Let's be honest. I'm going to be starting off with lightning. If you guys read the title, you guys could probably tell what this video is about. It's kind of about the Deepwoken skills and their elements to mantras and how, like, most of them are pretty bad in a lot of these like mantra elements. So we're gonna start off with lightning, since I am myself a lightning user. So basically, as you guys can see, this is kind of the main three that I run right now. I haven't been able to roll like, you know, lightning cloak or anything. But basically, usually you kind of just see the basic lightning blade, grand javelin, lightning assault, and sometimes lightning impact if you have the skill, the new talent. But the problem is that we have skills like lightning carve, lightning stream, what else do we have? We have lightning beam that nobody really uses that much. And as you guys can see, I have electro carve right here because I never used it. We're gonna start off with that here. So electric carve, let's be honest, it's a bootleg wind carve. If we've seen wind carve is actually pretty good for combos, because you can actually probably use wind carve while hitting somebody and actually combo with wind carve, because you can move with wind carve and it actually kind of works out in the end. The thing with electro carve is that if I were to do this, if I were to just M1 and electro carve, I would have to go AFK, and half of the time this thing doesn't do any damage and it doesn't last as long as wind carve does, and it's really blockable. It's like and even if you don't block it, it doesn't do any damage even if you were to upgrade it. Like overall, electric carve is just such a waste of a mantra, and I know that a lot of these mantras shouldn't be all OP, but like they gotta at least make it so you can walk with electro carve or do something, because electro carve is just such a bad hitbox. It has a bad hitbox, and even if you use cloudstone in it, it doesn't really do anything. Like it will still miss even if you're in front of the person and you use electric carve, which is pretty big with cloudstone. It will still miss a player. Again, you can't really like combo with this. It just doesn't feel as smooth as something like wind carve, which is like, you know, the better version of this, what this move is supposed to be. You gotta really see that. Like it's not good. That's kind of all I have to say for lightning carve. But next up, we have something like lightning beam and lightning stream. Now we have seen lightning, I think it's lightning stream, or I'm not sure. They're both kind of weird. The thing is that what I don't get is that it's lightning beam and lightning stream. They basically do the same thing. They're both in the lightning category, which is kind of weird. I understand if it was just one, that was kind of one thing. But anyways, lightning beam is just like, you can use it in like a combo sometimes, but it isn't really good. Like it's easy parryable, but that's not the problem. The problem is that it just doesn't do. It's hard to land, and you can combo with a javelin or after a flourish, but usually you're just gonna be missing like 1 out of the 4 of the hits from the beam. So it's really not the best. It really doesn't work out. That's why every time I see lightning beam, I never grab it, or lightning stream, lightning beam. Like no one ever grabs those abilities, because it's really hard to like actually use those abilities better than, let's say, like having a grand javelin lightning assault or grand javelin lightning blade combo. You know what I'm saying? No one's gonna bother staying another second AFK to possibly get hit for something that's not gonna hit. Like that's why no one clicks electro carve, electro beam, stream, attack. Like that's why they gotta fix those moves, in my opinion. They have to work on them. They just have to give them something, either replace them, do something different with them. I don't know. But overall for lightning, that's kind of all I have to say. All right, next up we have flame charm and their flame skills. I never went flame because I feel like every time if you were to go to flame, you would have no choice but to go blue flame. You don't have to go blue flame, of course, but like I feel like a lot of people are gonna be expecting you nowadays to just have blue flame, and you're gonna be a disappointment. But it's fine. If you don't go blue flame, that's not the problem. That's not what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about a couple of the other skills for flame. The main skill we're going to be talking about is flame gun. Let's be honest, flame gun is very bad. It's a bad skill, and even if you were to upgrade it, it either doesn't hit, it's too slow, and not only that, if it does hit, it literally does no damage. Like it just doesn't work. It just did like I get what they were trying to do. It was cool, but it's not a good skill. It like either they have to buff it, do something different with it, because no one gets flame gun like that no more. Like flame gun isn't really something that, like, now that we're more into Deepwoken and we know the skills, no one grabs flame gun. At first it sounded cool, but now it just isn't cool. It just isn't usable. And even if you were to attach something like I don't know, like a wayward or something, it doesn't even work. It's overall unreliable. It's an unreliable skill. Nobody uses it, and I feel like a lot of people can agree with me on that. Next up, another unreliable skill is flame repulsion. Let's be honest, self-explanatory. Nobody is gonna want to stand there AFK for like 5 seconds to use that skill. It's easy, dodgeable, right? The enemy team could dodge it easily. You have this big startup that makes you vulnerable for like 5 seconds. And nobody is stupid enough anymore, unless they're freshy, to even walk into that. It's like, it doesn't work. Like, they have to do something about these skills, because they're just all useless. They're just all in general a mantra slot ticking up for the whole game that could have been something better. Now, flame repulsion is indeed easy to dodge, you know, parry. It does give you hyper armor, but honestly, it doesn't really work. It can, like, if you're in a team fight, you're not gonna be using flame repulsion. It's just like, it's just gonna be a part of the whole deal. Like, you're just gonna cause more damage than necessary. You know what I mean? Overall, not a good skill. Next up, the last flame charm move I'm be talking about is Burning Servants. Now, Burning Servants isn't bad. It's a decent move. It does decent damage. The issue lies is how reliable it is. It isn't really reliable. You don't really try to use it as much, just because it never, like, it sometimes it glitches out and it doesn't, like, you know, hit. It's pretty predictable in PvP because it isn't quick. Like, if I were to use it, and you guys, like, I don't even use flame charm, and I know if you were to use it, you could just easily roll out of it. Like, you could, like, no one ever gets hit by flame charms nowadays. Like, it's just, you just don't. For PvP, it's pretty okay, but like overall for PvP, flame servants they just don't do it. Now, next up, we have ice magic. So the problem with ice magic here, we have ice laser. Now, ice laser is a pretty, like, a lot of people do get confused with ice laser with ice beam, but ice laser is like, it's like its own move. The issue with ice laser is that it's honestly a worse, like, Gale gun type deal, and overall it's just a pretty bad move. Like, it's like why would they add this when there's literally ice beam for ice as well? It's kind of the same thing with lightning. Like, there's like ice beam and ice what is it called, stream. Like, it's like, why would you guys make the same type of move for the same, like, mantra? Like, there's no point of doing that. And for some reason it's rare. I don't know why it's rare. It makes no sense. Second issue though is the next mantra, which is frozen servants. Now, frozen servants, I'm not gonna get too into it. It's, you guys know what to expect. It's kind of like the flame servants. Now, frozen servants I think is a little bit better in my opinion than the flame servants. I could be wrong though. Actually, I think the flame ones may be better just because I think they inflict burn. I'm not sure though, but honestly, same reason of why fire servants isn't good. We do know that ice chains are pretty bad, especially for shadow, so I'm not going to be talking much about shadow chains or ice chains because we already know that they're changing the ice chain moves. The only reason I'm making this video is because I saw that they were doing that, but I feel like they should do more than just change ice and shadow chain moves. Like, that's not the two mantras they should be focusing. They should be focusing the mantras that are really useless. You know what I'm saying? Next up, we have Gale magic. Now, a lot of the wisps in the game, I think the blue wisp or blue fire wisp, wherever, is pretty decent, but the Gale wisps is honestly just a useless mantra slot. Like, let's be honest, like people will use it, but honestly at this point in time a lot of people don't pick it just because they know what it does. Like, yeah, you know, it reduces your fall damage, but like, that's about it. You know, it doesn't really do anything else. It doesn't like provide anything else that's more useful than just that. You know what I'm saying? Next up, we have Air Force. Now, Air Force, I don't know how to feel about Air Force. The thing with Air Force is that it's just like, it's pretty predictable. I'm not gonna lie, unless you put like a reverse spark on it, it can't really do anything. Like, everyone, like there's better 0 stars that for you to get than waste your time on Air Force, on the Air Force mantra. Like if I were you, I would not get Air Force. It was like, it isn't the like mantra you would want to get and waste on, like, upon later on getting it. Never try to like secret, or like, what is it called, like unknown role random mantras. That's what I've learned. That's why this build was kind of messed up, as you guys can see. Thanks to that, I got electro carp, but it's whatever. Next up, we have tornado wind carve. Tornado is like this, it's cool, right? It looks cool, you know, it's cool, like little AoE thing. But let's be honest, it does no damage. It just kind of leaves you there, and it's just useless. Like, yeah, the only good part about it is that I think you could use it as wayward, and it will like teleport you to them. Like, it's good for wayward wise, but like other than that, like you won't really be able to like combo well with that. Like, people will just get out. Like, once you see a tornado, people could just parry that thing or whatever, do whatever the hell they want, get out of there, and then they're chilling, you know. They'll just straight go, they'll go for you right afterwards. It doesn't even matter. Like, it's so it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It just like, you just won't be using that in the middle of a combat. Like, there's like way better win moves for you to get than that win. Next up, I'm gonna be talking about the shadow skills. Now, shadow overall is a decent thing. You know, we all know shadow could be annoying to fight. It takes away all your ether attack. But shadow chains, I'm not gonna be talking about that. Like I said, they already remade shadow chains for the next update, so we'll see how that looks like. But next up, we do have this shadow assault. Now, shadow assault, I actually use it on my other account. Shadow assault is kind of weird because, yeah, it's like it can go further if you upgrade it, and like it does damage if it hits somebody, but like it's just a way worse version than revenge, which is an agility skill. Like, I'd rather use revenge than shadow assault, because shadow assault really isn't like, the only reason I would use shadow assault is to probably catch up to somebody, which you can, but at that point we might as well try to get revenge, because revenge is just a way better shadow assault. So that's why I never bother even using shadow assault. And let's be honest, with the way the Roblox and Deepwoken is, shadow assault most of the time is so laggy that it takes a year for it to actually like be used. Next up, we have clutching shadow. Now, at first, clutching shadow was kind of cool thing. It was like, whoa, look at this cool ability. You thought you could actually use it in combos. You really can't use it in combos. Like, it like makes you stay AFK for a second, and not only that though, it really doesn't do any damage. You hit it, it's easy parryable, by the way, and like you can't really do anything, because when you hit them, you can't like do anything else. You're just in this animation, and so you can't really use it in combos. It just doesn't work. Now, for mantraless, I'm not really sure about those guys. I haven't really checked out the mantraless people. But that's probably gonna be it for shadow. That's basically it for now for this mantra. Like, this is in a way a sort of like way of just me saying, listen guys, or like to the dev team, like, yo, y'all got to do something about these mantras. Either change it up, add new mantras, I guess, but like these are really useless. Like, these are just the most useless mantra slots you guys could ever have. Overall, I feel like these are just mantras that they just need to look at, like they did to ice chains and shadow chains. Please look at this if any of the devs are watching. If you guys could get this up, like, you know, like pass around, you know, so it can get popular or something, just let them know that we want to change. That's all there is to it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm getting hit by this bat, and I'll see you guys around. Peace out, everybody.